Several inches of water covered streets across the city as well as portions of the Philip Colson Highway. Traffic moved slowly along the inundated streets, and pedestrians had no choice but to traverse the dirty waters to get to their destinations. The water quickly spilled into residents' yards, compounds of workplaces, and even in schoolyards and buildings. Many schools affected by the water had to close early and send the students home. Climatologist Ronald Gordon explains the reason behind the rains that have caused the flooding.
Over the weekend, we had 2 tropical waves that crossed us, and that was what supported the weather over the weekend. And then what we have now is a trough of low pressure in front of us in the Northwest Caribbean. And then we have a front coming down, so basically we have moisture converging before this front along the trough. And that's what's creating all the weather that we've been having.
Okay, now in terms of the rainfall that we've seen, are you able to discuss with us the inches of rainfall we've seen in different parts of the country?
Okay, first of all, let's here at the airport, starting from the 22nd, I believe, which was Sunday, we have seen 2.2 inches on the 22nd. On the 23rd, we had 3.0 inches, and today, the 24th, we have 3.5 inches so far. So that's a lot of rain. And the rest of the country, when we look at this image here, we're looking at rainfall only for the past, let's say, 18 hours. Here at the airport, we've had the majority, which is 90.2 millimeters. So I have switched units on you a bit there. But we're talking about millimeters now. And then even up towards the western portions of the country, we're looking at 55.4 millimeters in Benke. So it has been countrywide, but concentrated mostly along the northeast coast.
A number of schools and businesses have closed their doors today in western Belize. The Iguana Creek Bridge in Spanish Lookout and the low-lying wooden bridge in Santa Elena San Ignacio have closed to traffic. While Cayo and the Belize districts are experiencing most of the flooding, low-lying areas and those who operate on the seas in other parts of Belize should exercise caution. There will be more rains over the next 24 hours.
We are already experiencing flooding, and that will continue. We expect for the next 24 hours that the chances of flooding are very high. First of all, like I mentioned, we had rainfall over the weekend. In fact, from the end of last week, so the soils are very saturated, and with additional rainfall that we expect to come in later on, we expect that this will continue.
For the next day or so?
Yes, precisely for the next 24 hours, we expect additional rainfalls, and then we expect a cold front to cross us tomorrow. We have the front approaching the Yucatan, and that front is going to cross us tomorrow during the day. And after it crosses us, it will take most of the moisture back out to sea.
So the rains should slow down a bit.
That's right. We expect cloudy, cool, and windy conditions behind the front Wednesday night and Thursday. And it is one of those fronts that is not going to go too far, so it will start back up and bring back moisture by Friday. So conditions should become a bit more moist again on Friday.
Now, because this part of the country is experiencing some flooding, will perhaps the southern coastal areas of Belize experience some flooding over the next couple of days if it hasn't arrived there as yet?
There is a possibility of flooding. The type of flooding that we expect down south is more flash flooding type from near rivers and streams. So that is quite likely to occur, indeed.
Now, for people who are going out to sea, are they supposed to exercise any degree of caution?
Yes, we currently have a small craft caution in effect for gusty winds and occasional rough seas near showers and thunderstorms. After the front crosses us tomorrow, I think winds are going to become even more gusty and stronger, so we might upgrade that to a warning at that time.
SEMA has been monitoring the rainfall. While families have not had to move out of their homes, SEMA says they've been visiting schools to see how best to assist. The City Council, through the Flood Mitigation Project, hopes to use a newly acquired vacuum truck to clear out the drains to help reduce flooding in the city. But until that happens, a more permanent solution to the drainage problems in the city remains a work in progress.
We are still out doing assessment in these high priority areas, schools, the health centers that people need access to for services, government services, essential services. And by and large, that in a nutshell is what we are doing by these high priority areas that is facing currently these flooded situation. So we are trying our best to mitigate and facilitate the fast flow, smooth flow of runoff of all this water that has inundated our streets and affected the city. The weather has held up a bit, and with that we will have an excellent opportunity and view to see where and why, and the reason being for these clogged drains not functioning properly or manhole not functioning properly or the way they ought to, and then we will proceed to clean these drains and flush them out and the manholes and culverts.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.